It's a pleasure seeing everybody here, and I'm Tom Phillips. I'm with SCORE, and we are having our. This is the second in the series. It's called Practical AI. Deborah Deras is the presenter again, and she has some amazing details to show you what's happened in AI, the improvements made in AI, and how it's going to help you with your business. I'd also like to thank, and she's not here, is Pam Tanise, who owns the workshops, WorkZone, and they've been terrific. The staff has been terrific. And then Michael Kramer, who has Hype Cats, and they are doing the recording, and he does a lot of podcast information. So let briefly tell you a little bit about SCORE. SCORE is funded by the SBA. The Santa Barbara chapter here is part of 250 chapters across the country. We do about, our mandate is to offer free mentoring, workshops, and webinars to entrepreneurs, small business owners, and nonprofits. All of our mentoring, again, being free, we're non-judgmental, and we don't tell you whether you have a good idea or a bad idea. We just try to work with you to help you make the decisions along the way to see if your idea has validity and makes sense for you. And Deborah, it's funny, she has part of her presentations today is going to be about helping startups do a plan and see if it makes sense. At the end of Deborah's presentation, she will have Q&A. This whole thing is recorded, and so you'll have every detail, all the resource material at your fingertips. So don't worry about taking notes, and that's all there. There are a few SCORE mentors here. And if you could raise your hands, there's a lot of SCORE mentors here. So any of you have not used SCORE, you have questions about SCORE, and you want to learn more about SCORE, and Dee's one of our SCORE members as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to walk up to any of these women and men and ask them whatever you want to ask them, and they'll be here to help. And one thing I have to say about our chapter is the women and men that are part of the chapter are the most fantastic group of people you'll ever want to meet. They're successful, they've failed, they've succeeded again. They know what you're going through, and they can help you in every step of the way. So terrific group of people with only one goal, and that's to help you. So don't be shy, just go up and talk to them. So we're excited. And thank you. This is Deborah Deras.
How many of you, when you first started hearing about AI, were a little bit hesitant, a little bit even anxious, because you thought, oh my goodness, are robots going to take over the world? Is this going to be like a bad Terminator movie? What is this AI thing? Then you turn on the TV, 60 Minutes 2020, how AI is taking your job, right? So in the last 3 years, AI has been part of our lexicon. All of a sudden, it's everywhere. And if you were like me, you were like, I don't think I like AI, right? I like people. I'm a people person. I want to just do everything myself, because as a small business owner, I have a very particular way I want to run my business. Anybody relate to that online too? Right? It's like, okay, I've heard about this, but then you start hearing people are using this thing called ChatGPT, and they're writing better emails. And all of a sudden you see Canva is taking off with all these amazing templates for graphics. And then you see, wow, maybe I should look into this AI thing. Well, today, think of me as your Egyptian tour guide. I am going to take you on a tour of some of the most practical AI tools that are going to help you to grow and scale your small business, your startup, your side hustle, whatever you want to focus on. So one of the things I want to make sure is that you don't get overwhelmed by the tools, because my whole philosophy, I wrote a book called Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict. Hi, I'm Deborah Deras in recovery. I have relapses where I go back into it and be that type A personality, crazy person. But for the most part, AI has helped me to relax, right? So what I want you to do is to take the tools that you like, take the tools that you think you will need, take the tools that you think you will use, and lead the rest. And because this is only a couple hour program, we're only going to go over a few of the tools, but there's so many more. So what I want you to think about is, what is the biggest problem? What is the biggest challenge you have right now with your small business? Maybe you want to launch a new product. Maybe you want to start a podcast. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to revise your website. Maybe you want to market your tarot cards, right? So you want to really focus this presentation on the specific use that you're going to use for it. So it's not abstract or esoteric, it's practical. You're going to be able to use it right away. So what we're going to cover, initially, I was going to go over a lot of just the general AI, but here's what you need to know about generative AI is you write 5-word prompts and it creates things for you. That's it. So we're going to talk about AI fundamentals. We're also going to go through, like I said, my tour of the best apps from being a small business coach. I think this is my 12th year coaching small businesses. And so coaching people, I kind of see what your challenges are. So I'm going to go over that. I'm also going to talk about the pros and cons of AI, because what about your privacy? What about customization? If everyone's using AI, are we all going to sound like robots? These are your concerns, right? So we're going to talk about them. I'm going to show you some demos. Everything's going to work beautifully, ease and grace. And then we're going to talk about the future trends. Because if any of you are aware of SEO and search engine optimization, AI is going to be a disruptor of everything that we've been doing with SEO. Not to worry, I've got pivots and tools for us to be able to keep up with it, but we need to know about it. So I want you to imagine that you have your dream assistant. It is someone that comes into the morning. Good morning. How can I help you? Doesn't matter if it's Monday morning, doesn't matter if it's Friday afternoon. How can I help you? They come with energy, with efficiency, with just whatever you want. You could give it 10,000 tasks and then say, I want it completely redone. No, do it like this. No, do it like that. They are proficient in graphics, in copywriting, in editing, in every single thing you need. And instead of having to have workers' comp or health insurance or this or that, you have a person that's an entity that's 24/7 at your disposal, ready to serve you and wants to be able to understand you, right? And the memory is constantly being updated. So have you ever been frustrated with a partner, maybe a business partner, maybe a life partner, where you're like, didn't I already tell you that? This dream assistant is going to remember everything you say, is going to remember everything you say and deposit it in its memory bank. And it's going to do everything with positive energy and a smile. This is not a human being. This is your AI assistant. And if you use it correctly, by customizing it to your brand voice, if you understand when to use it, how to use it, why to use it, you're going to be able to get great results in your business. In the 1 year that I've been using AI, I went from having clients like Verizon, General Electric, to having clients like Meta, Netflix, Google, my dream clients. I am going to be in the future teaching an AI, a generative AI certificate program at Santa Barbara City College, and it's going to be completely free and online. So everything that I'm saying today is going to be the tip of the iceberg. And then if you want more, next year, that class will be offered, or you can take it with me earlier. So let's get started. So before I get into all of the demo of the apps, I really want you to think about your business. You're like, that's all I do 24/7. I dream about my business. And I want you to think, if there was one pain or problem that you have that could be solved, what would it be? Just marinate on that for a second. And I want to let you know, I've had clients that I've worked with, whether it was at the EDC, SBDC, or at the Women's Economic Ventures. So I see some of my clients online are there. I had one client that she had an issue with collecting payments from her clients, right? The accounts receivable, the whole system was off. She used ChatGPT to create an Excel spreadsheet with just 5 little prompts and was able to collect $250,000 of receivables by getting her books in order. I had another client who was really struggling with their website. They're launching a wonderful business here in Santa Barbara. It's going to be a mobile IV business, right? And they were like, well, in this day and age, you need to have a website. It's no longer a business card. Your website is your calling card. Within one 45-minute session with me, we were able to create her complete outline of her website with an AI tool. We got to do that with you. And I can go on and on and on, but I want you to realize the pain and the problem that you have, most likely there is an AI solution for it, or an AI solution is being developed. Because if you're familiar with Google, Meta, all of these companies have now pivoted their focus to everything Apple to AI, right? So, and the wonderful thing for us as small business owners, because these companies are competing to make our lives easier. And the cost and the learning ability for AI is not expensive. Most of these tools that I'm going to mention to you, maximum are like $20 a month. We all probably spend at least $20 a month on coffee, right? So for those people that think $20 a month, how much would it cost to hire someone to do that? All right. So now we're going to talk about all the different tools that we can delegate. Because those of you that are coaches of small businesses and those of you that are small business owners, the biggest challenge that small businesses have in growing and scaling is trying to do everything ourselves, right? We're the CEO, the CTO, the CMO, the publicist, and now we have to do digital marketing too. How can we do everything? We can't. And guess what happens? Something falls through the cracks. But what we're going to be able to do, and this is a partial list, but what I would want you to consider is what is the challenge you have and what is your top priority that needs to be done that would actually move the needle to increase your revenue. Do you need to write a press release, right? That's about a new product you're going to launch. Even I was talking to Tom earlier, one of the simplest thing, if you just want to start with a little tiny task that you delegate to AI, my dog seems to like a lot of walking. We do about 8,000 steps a day. Anybody have that problem with your dog? So I'm like, gosh, I have to work. I have to write this email. And my dog's like, no, we don't. We got to go outside, right? And so while I'm outside with my dog walking, I have my microphone on my ChatGPT. I'm speaking my email. ChatGPT knows my core values, knows my voice because I gave it a writing sample of how I write. I gave it a sample email. When I get back to the office, all I have to do is copy and paste that email that I would have been staring at the computer for hours, trying to figure out, trying to grammar check, trying to organize my neurodivergent brain. It's done. Simple, right? Say we want to do a proposal. So the reason that I've been able to get some of my dream clients, Netflix, Google, Meta, coming up, is the proposals that would take me, anybody struggle with doing proposals? It's like, okay, because you can't just do a regular proposal. Now what I do is when I'm writing proposals, and you can use, I'm going to show you, ChatGPT, you could use Gemini, you could use Claude. I put the core values of the company I'm writing the proposal into it. And I say, keep in mind, these are the mission, vision, and core values of the company. Write the proposal catered to this company and make sure you include everything they need to know to be able to hire me at the maximum fee, right? And then, oh my God, the proposal that would take me hours and hours to do in minutes is done, right? Oh gosh, great, I got a new client. The other thing is many people, we have a desire to do a podcast, right? And wonderful, we have a wonderful studio here at Work Zones. You can talk to Michael Kramer of Hype Cats. We have an idea, but it's like, oh, to do a podcast, it's so tedious. You got to produce it, you got to edit it, you got to take show notes. Now I'm going to show you a tool. It can all be done like this. What do you think is the fastest way to amplify your brand? When you think of how many of you had to drive quite a bit in traffic this morning. I appreciate you being here, an hour and 40 minutes, right? What are we doing? Most of us as small business owners, we're learners. We're learning something. We're listening to a podcast. What if they were listening to your podcast? And you're basically like Amy Porterfield, our email guru. They're seeding all of the products and services that you offer to your ideal client, who, by the way, in the car is hypnotized, because when you're driving, you're in a state of hypnosis because you're focused forward and the expanded awareness. It's the perfect time to deposit information. And what if you're talking about SCORE and all the amazing services that you offer? You can do that with ease and grace with that. You can also do autoresponders. So a lot of us know that social media is not only posting information, it's about engagement. How are you going to get at the top of the algorithm? Those of you that have struggled with any social media, that's the other thing that I teach, Facebook and Instagram. It's not just putting the content out there. It's getting people to engage with your content. And there is a wonderful AI tool. I didn't include it in this presentation, but you may want to write it down. It's called ManyChat. And a lot of influencers and people that have great engagement on social media use it because it has an autoresponder, right? You say type keyword tarot, and then people can get information on how to order your tarot card. And instead of you having to one by one connect with people, it's automated. If we know one thing about scaling and growing our small business is we have to systemize, we have to automate, and we have to delegate. And so think of AI as a tool that you can delegate to, okay? All right. When we talk about our website, so as of right now, search engine optimization is still working according to plan, right? A lot of people, most people right now still go to Google, even though Google got in trouble because of the monopoly. They had to pay some money to the government because of that, but we still love Google. So when we want to optimize our website, we have to remember we're so close with our business name. We dreamed about it. We came up with it. It's a wonderful thing. It's Meow Wine Bar. How cute that of a name is that? Meow Wine Bar. However, when people are looking for a wine bar, they may not look for meow, right? What are they going to look for? The keywords. So one of the things you're going to notice on GoDaddy, on WordPress, on Shopify, whatever you use, is now they have AI tools that can optimize your website. You want to take advantage of that because before AI, you would have to pay someone at least $1,000 a month to do your optimization. Now, GoDaddy, they might charge you $20 to do it. It can be done, right? So all of the optimization, that's so key because you created this wonderful product and service, but you can't be the best kept secret. People need to know how to find you, and it's not the name of your website unless you're a household name. You know what I mean? If you're Kleenex to tissue, it's easy for people to find you, but if you're not, they need to have the keywords. So optimization is really important. The other day I was working with a client. He is an ADHD coach and he just finished his website, but he had nothing on his LinkedIn, and his target market avatar is executives on LinkedIn. I'm like, we need to go to LinkedIn and we need to get you in services marketplace so you could be a consultant. You need to do a LinkedIn learning class so you can be seen on airplanes and people can really get out to you. And I worked with him, and in minutes, we took his website, like his about, I put it into a tool that I'm going to show you that's a LinkedIn bio generator. It took the paragraph from his website and created a completely optimized LinkedIn. And I remember people were charging like $500 to $1,000 to optimize your LinkedIn. Now with this tool that I'm going to share with you, that's a free tool, by the way, and even if you're not a small business owner and you're an entrepreneur or you're working at a job, but you want to do a side hustle, you can do that for your work experience too, especially if you have a dream job. If you have a dream job, you can take the job description of your dream job and have LinkedIn optimize it. If you have children, anybody, if you have children that you're wanting to help get a job. No, my stepsister she's like, my son has 2 degrees, a bachelor's and a master's degree, and he's never worked. I'm like, let me help him. We'll work on his LinkedIn, right? We'll make it optimized, right? All right. So also keywords for sales copy, right? So say you developed an awesome course, right? On money mindset, right, Michelle? And you want to get it out into the world. You can optimize the copy that will get your course to sell, and you can model it off other courses that have successfully sold, but to your brand and your deliverables. Okay, there's more. Many of us know the importance of blogs. Why are blogs important? They're not as important as they used to be. Simon Sinek wrote the book Tribes. Now podcasts are more relevant than blogs, but because blogs have keywords in it, there's literally a tool that I'm going to show you, another free tool, that you give it the topic of the blog, a writing sample of yours, your desired outcome, and it'll write the 350-word optimized blog. And then guess what? I'm searching for something on money mindset. I find your blog on the 5 tools you must use in order to get your money aligned. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. She also has a course. And then I sign up for the course through the blog. Okay. So these are, and I'm not saying at all that you have to do all of these. I'm just giving you suggestions of how people have used AI and how you can use it too. I have another client. She just bought a beautiful vacation home in Mexico, and she's wanting to do women's retreats in Mexico. So she's writing, I helped her with Canva in literally seconds design her ebook. It didn't even take minutes. It took seconds. And with Canva, if you have the paid version, they have your brand of your colors stored. And so it'll take the template of the book, change it into your colors, change it into your fonts. You have a virtual assistant update the information. You could literally have a lead generator ebook done in an hour. And this was like the bane of our existence. Oh, I just need a lead generator. I just need an ebook. I just need something to get people to want to sign up for my email list, but I don't have the time. This is what we have problems with small businesses. We don't have the time. We don't have the energy, and we may not have the full capital to be able to hire an entire team. So that's what this presentation is about. It's how to create your team, how to have AI work for you. Because, we can resist AI, and I'm preaching the choir, you're not resisting or you wouldn't be here, but other people can resist, but we're going to lose out to the competition because it's like social media. A lot of us say, oh, we hate social media, we don't want to be on it. 20 years later, Zuckerberg's still here, right? Social media is still a thing, and AI is here to stay. Another thing you could do, those of you that have wanted to write a book, I have a new book coming out. It's called Your Ego is Not Your Amigo. How to tune into your intuitive guidance system to create a life you love. You like it? Okay, good. So I love this book. It's really geared toward the younger generation. to tune into their intuitive guidance system, to listen to their inner voice, to make choices, rather than thinking they have to rely on anything outside themselves, that the answers are within you. So while I was walking my dog, I went to ChatGPT. I'm like, I got this book idea. Can you help me organize it? They literally said, they suggested like how I could outline the book and even the sections of the book. So they're not going to write the book for me. And then what I'm doing with my walks of my dog, anybody have a dog? It's very productive. I didn't know how productive this dog would be. And so while I'm walking the book, I'm like, I'm just going to tell stories for the book. And I start telling the stories, and then it organizes it. I drop it in Grammarly. It checks it. All the resistance I had. Oh, I can't afford this copywriter editor. Sorry if you're a copywriter editor, was going to charge me like $10,000 to review my book. And I was like, I don't think I need her. Okay. So, sorry, copywriters, editors. Create an ebook. Okay. So outline chapters for the book. The other thing, for those of you that sell maybe on Etsy, or you have been selling on Etsy, but you want to get away from Etsy and you want to go on your own and sell your product, get money directly to your website. The key is product descriptions for what you're selling. And now if you're using a website like Shopify, they have AI tools integrated that they'll write your product descriptions in alliance with the keywords. So if someone is looking for your topic, they're going to easily be able to find you. And this is just the first slide. Whoa! Okay, let's take a breath. Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. You like it? You like delegating? Right? And some of us still, we have our hand on the parking brake. I know, because I'm you, right? So we have one foot on the gas with AI and one foot on the parking brake, but we're like, I don't know, because I'm particular. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Because I'm particular when it comes to this, and my brand is so sacred, and I've been building it for 10, 20, 30 years, whatever, how long we've been building it. Let's go on. So everything in this presentation is about you. So that was your delegation list. One of the things I talk about in my book is including, we all have to-do lists, but what we really need is a let-go list, right? All right. Thinking about what we're going to let go to AI. So one of the things that I have been, and many of you may have been, letting go to AI is a lot of my copywriting. Not that I'm not a great writer like you are a great writer, but we have a lot going on in our minds. As business owners, we're multi-talented, right? You guys are not just running your business. You're probably volunteering for an organization. You're doing everything for your family, your extended family. You guys are we're all overextended, right? So it's not to say we can't write, but what we want to ask ourselves when it comes to delegating, is this the highest and best use of my time? Right? Is it? So, and by the way, some of us, depending on your brain and your mindset, some of us are more visual and some of us are more auditory. So the wonderful thing with ChatGPT and some of the other ones is there are Chrome extensions that you can plug in a microphone. So you don't even have to type. If you're better at speaking, you could just speak into your copywriter and have them write something for you. Like, remember back in the day, if anybody remembers my day, can you dictate a letter for me? Right? We would have an assistant and they would take a dictation on the typewriter. I remember when I was taking typewriting in school, I'm like, we're never going to use this. I love calligraphy. Can you believe that? And now, right? But I don't like typing, right? You don't have to. You can delegate it. And there's not just ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one of several different copywriting apps. And when I say copywriting, I want to just clarify what I mean. Say you need to write a bio, right? I recently, when I was getting my position at Santa Barbara City College, they asked for a CV resume. I haven't done a resume in 28 years. I was like, how do I write a resume? I had no idea. And I was in Mexico at the time when they needed it, and ChatGPT was not working in Mexico for whatever reason. So I went over to Gemini, which is owned by my wonderful client, Google, and they basically took my little scratchings of what did I do with my life in the last 28 years, and they organized it into a beautiful resume that I was able to insert into a Canva CV resume template, and boom, I have a new stream of revenue. Do you see that? Do you see how these things can help us, right? Claude is wonderful because for those of you that have sales pages, you're going to sell your tarot cards, you're going to sell your money course, right? You want to be able to write in such a way that people can simply and easily understand. What is the average reading level for most people? Do you guys know? Third grade! Go lower than that. So you guys are like ninth grade, fifth grade, third grade. So when we think of, and most of us, you're well educated, and the way we write, we want to write simple and easy. I can't tell you what a struggle it is for me to write like a sales page to sell a product or service. And since AI was created, I created a whole academy with public speaking, AI, and mindset courses. And I could not even have gotten the sales page up if I didn't have my friend Claude. Claude, help me. I need help. I cannot do this, right? So, and that little program is averaging about 2,000 extra a month because of my Claude. And I'm not even paying for Claude. I use the free version. So you know the difference. I do pay for ChatGPT, and I recommend paying for ChatGPT because it's like having a master's degree student working for you, kind of PhD sometimes, some level, whereas the free version is just kind of, not up to speed yet. Claude, the free version, is almost the same level as the paid version of ChatGPT. And I'm going to give you today over 5,000 prompts that can be installed easily, no tech support needed, on ChatGPT and on Claude. And Gemini is stepping up. It's improving and improving and improving. But I want you to think of some of the challenges that you have that you could potentially use your copywriter to delegate to, okay? Just consider it. And you can start really little and really small and work up. So there are some privacy issues we need to be aware of when it comes to ChatGPT. And so I'm going to give you some tools to teach you how to make your ChatGPT more private and how to customize it to your brand voice. Would that be good? Yeah. Cool. And when I say more private, notice my languaging, more. Because like you probably tell your children, if you guys have children, I don't have children, but I have a dog, Davino. Like you tell your children, nothing you put on social media is private. You want to apply to college, don't put that picture of you drinking at the bar. Hold off on that, right? So what I'm telling, I put information on my book, my new book that's out there. But before I did a privacy step that I want to show you, okay? You guys ready? Otherwise, I go to Barnes & Noble. Your ego is not your amigo, by Tom. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that was my book. No, just kidding. Okay. Can you see this? You didn't do that. Okay. So anyway, so here we are. So when you sign up for ChatGPT, everyone online, hopefully you can see the screen over here. You have different settings here. So we're going to go to your little circle in the corner, the right circle. And now we're going to go to settings. This is being recorded. So if you want to be able to do this and walk yourself through it at home, you can go back, slow me down, speed me up, whatever you want to do, right? Okay. So see where it says data controls? So Sam Walton, OpenAI guy, was sneaky because what he did was, where it says improve the model for everyone, it's automatically set to on. I don't know if you're familiar with the lawsuit that the New York Times had against ChatGPT for taking information and okay. Anyway, because of that, they created this button. Because when it says improve the model for everyone, you're like, but that sounds good. Don't I want to improve the model for everyone? Let me translate to you technological speak to real layman terms. Improve the model means train on your data, train on your information. So I put that immediately to off.
So does that limit your data from going out there and being searchable, or it just limits them from using?
It limits them from using your
Okay,
data.
okay.
Yeah. So I highly recommend doing that because it's going to help you tremendously. The other thing that I highly recommend doing, and this is for ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT more because there's more features. It's kind of like you might have a Tesla because it does more. My friend was saying she's like, you don't like driving, Deborah? Just get a Tesla. It'll drive for you. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh no. She's like, yeah, I just put it on cruise control and it drives. I'm like, okay. So like think of ChatGPT like a Tesla and think of Gemini like a Prius. It's still efficient, it's still affordable, but it's, all right. And think of Claude like, I don't know, we'll think about it. All right.
Ask the AI.
Yeah, I'll ask the AI. So what we want to do, because I think one of the biggest concerns that I had, like you, with my foot on the gas of AI and on the parking brake is like, but I'm particular. And I speak in a certain way. And what will happen is if you just let AI take over and you don't train it, it's going to be generic. Think about if you've ever hired an employee or had an intern and you were just too busy to train them. And then you ask them to do something and you're like, what's this? I'm just going to do it myself, right? And it's because we didn't take the time to really give them the specific details that we wanted. And by the way, a little note for training that I learned is now when I'm training on anything, I record it on Zoom. So I don't like to repeat myself. I'm impatient. So I record it on Zoom. I'm like, this is the way we do the newsletter. This is the way we do this. And I'll record it step by step. And then I'll say, watch this. These are the operations orientation video on how to work for Synergy Unlimited. Watch these videos. So then I don't have to take my time because sometimes we get a great assistant and then they leave, right? It's unfortunate, but not AI. They stay with us. Isn't that great? Okay. So what we want to make sure is that we have them write in a style and a tone that is aligned with our brand. So what I did was I put a writing sample in and it told me what my style. Tell me if this sounds correct. Conversational and enthusiastic. Positive and exciting. I'm like, me? Oh, really? Friendly and inviting. Empowering and supportive. So like that's the style of language they're going to write everything that I ask it to write. But I do spend time training my AI. And this works for ChatGPT, it works for Gemini, it works for Claude. So you want to be very specific with their role and what you want them to do. So hold on one second, just for questions. I actually am going to take questions, but I don't want, if you stop me in the middle, then I'll lose my train of thought. So just hold on and I'll pause for questions. So what you really want to do is you want to tell your AI what their role is in your organization for that minute. And the wonderful thing is one person can be the role of HR, copywriter, digital marketer, graphic designer, all at once, right? So if I'm going to ask them for something, I'm not just going to do something generically. I'm going to specifically say, you are a digital marketing agency executive creating copy for a money mindset online course. What questions do you have for me to create a sales page that converts to sales? So do you see how different that is than saying, write me a sales page, right? So I want you to think of when you're giving instructions to your AI that the more specific and concise and articulate you are, the better. And this is why people sell prompts, because a lot of people have taken the time to create prompts that have thought this all through. Because you didn't know, I didn't know I needed to say digital marketing agency. I didn't know I needed to say, I always add convert to sales. Because for me, coaching small business owners, I don't help you unless you're increasing your revenue. It doesn't help you, and if I give you a million things to do, if it's just going to give you visibility. Nobody wants visibility if it's not going to convert to sales, right? So I always add that convert to sales, right? So garbage in, garbage out when it comes to AI. Specificity is what's going to get you better results, right? So you can use a combination of developing your own prompts and even having your own GPTs, right? So I'm going to show you the results for this, and then I'm going to talk to you about creating your own GPT. So instead of just giving it a command, I asked it to ask me the questions that I don't know it needs, right? Do you see the difference? So instead of saying, give me something, and I might not really know what I'm doing when it comes to sales page copywriting. We don't know everything that we're doing with our business, right? We need support. So let's get some support, right? So it's saying, well, what's the course about? What are the objectives? So then I'll put the course. Can you describe the pain points? This is what I always say when I'm coaching people. What are the pain points of your ideal target market, of your avatar? Didn't we learn this in class? We were just talking about this in class. What is your unique selling proposition? What sets you apart from the competitors? Pricing, bonuses. Are you going to do worksheets, group, online sessions? Do you have testimonials, instructor buyer? So all of this are important components that are all needed in the sales page that you might not know. You might skip the testimonials, but that's social proof. That's showing that your course really works. And that might be the difference that makes a difference. Or your bio. You don't want to have a 500-page bio. No one's going to read more than 50 words, right? So then you give them all of this and then your sales page, right? And anything that I have created by my copywriter team, Claude, I call Charles, ChatGPT Charles, Charlie, Chaz, depending on the day. It could be neutral, feminine, masculine, everything. So whatever I need, it does it for me. I always add my own flavor to it. So even though it's writing in my own voice, call me controlling. But what I'll do is I'll copy it, paste it into a Google Doc, and take some time. But it'll take so much less time. And then Grammarly, my other assistant, is behind my back. Oh, don't forget, then, not then, there, not there. Put a comma, put a space. Okay. Cool, right? So you could get that. The other thing that I was going to say is if there's any task that you do repetitively, that should be delegated, right? First thing we learn in operations and systems, and trust me, this is not my area of expertise. I don't know about it, but I've been coached by wonderful people, by SCORE and different organizations that have helped me to think, more broadly, right? So if there's anything that you do repetitively, it should be delegated. So I'm always asking for social media posts. I don't want to every day tell AI what to do. I want them to know it. So now I trained my Charles that every time I say SM post, they put a hook that captures attention. They put a caption that includes the keywords. They have a specific call to action. Because let me tell you, even though I teach digital marketing, I was finding myself, because I was busy doing things too fast, and I would forget to have the call to action. So I'd be putting out all this great information, and then my coach is like, aren't people buying from you? I'm like, oh, I never asked for the sale. I didn't have the call to action. And the call to action doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be, every post, buy from me. Maybe it should be DM me any questions or schedule a one-on-one with me, right? Because in the relationship that we have with our ideal customer, like any relationship, we have to build trust, likability, and that they know that our product or service is going to solve their pain and problem. So that's a process and a journey. We can't right away when we meet a customer say, will you buy from me? It's like meeting a person walking down the street. Will you marry me? Whoa, I don't even know you. I don't like you. I don't trust you, right? So funny. All right. So there's lots of cool things you could do. And ChatGPT paid version also has our friend Dolly. You guys know about Dolly?
No.
Oh, so up until a week ago, I was paying like $20 a month for stock Adobe to create images for me because I'm doing wonderful PowerPoint presentations and I needed images. But then I noticed stock Adobe is using AI images. So why am I paying $20 a month to get AI images that are included with ChatGPT paid version, Dolly. So I'm doing this money course, and I want to have a blonde, I'll just say blonde woman sitting on a stack of money or something. I'm like, okay, so whatever you want. This is a prompt, right? So let me turn your imagination into imagery. Oh, there's an error. Okay, going to try again. That's not the error of ChatGPT, it's probably the internet. Okay, so I don't even have to say create. By the way, I'm very polite, so I was saying thank you and please. My ChatGPT, just because I was raised right, but you don't have to at the sake of time. So I kind of cut it out, but oh, it keeps correcting it. So, and Dolly has been improving and improving. Like there's different versions of Dolly, and every time it gets better. I don't know why there's an error. Oh, maybe it's just an error on my computer and it's working. So it'll create an image for you, whatever you need for. So it enabled me to cut out an expense that I was using because it does so many things. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you that ChatGPT does, let me close it and reopen it. I learned from my friend Michael, anytime something doesn't work, restart it. That's what he said. Okay, so I'm using Michael's teachings. Okay. So, do you notice I also have Canva on here? Anybody use Canva? So if you ever need like templates for something you're working on, you don't even need to leave ChatGPT. You could have Canva templates created right there. You just, so it's just wonderful. And do you know the reason for that is, so Facebook doesn't want you to put a link because then you're leaving the platform. You ever see when there's a link on a platform? Yes. Very important tip that I never omit from any speech, because as a digital marketing coach, you have to know this. If you put a link on a friend page or a business page of Facebook, they will not circulate it in the feed unless you're paying for ads. And I have tools in this presentation that are going to give you a workaround for that. So you're going to be able to have your link visible. And why don't they want that? Because you're leaving the platform. ChatGPT doesn't want you to leave to go to Canva. And Canva just added a whole slew of AI tools, including Dolly, because nobody wants you to leave their platform. You have to think like they think. They want you on their platform because when you're on their platform, your eyeballs mean advertising dollars for them. And they don't make the money from us. We're not paying for Facebook. We're not paying for Instagram, but we're paying by giving our data, our name, our email, which is being sold for advertising, right? So we'll try it one more time. Blonde woman sitting on money. Just for demo, of course, it will have a glitch, right? That's technology for you. It says, for example, do you prefer a modern, luxurious atmosphere? Oh, it's asking me for clarification. Yes, I want a luxurious atmosphere. Cool. I don't know why it's giving errors. I don't know if it's Zoom, the internet, ChatGPT. Okay, anyway, you get the point. So 9 times out of 10 it works. The one time you're demoing it, it doesn't work. It's Murphy's Law, right? So you had a question.
Oh, I like the part that you talked about customizing ChatGPT. So for my style of my voice, right? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, so, but if I have other clients that I'm using my ChatGPT to write their copy, their website stuff, how do I get around that?
So one of the things that I do, because I do the same thing, is I have a window. This is like a nude chat. When I say window, that's dedicated to Synergy Unlimited, which is my business. And then I open up separate windows for my clients, and then I stack. So, for example, like if I said to ChatGPT, and it's called Synergy Unlimited, and I have a little money back on it, and then I say, these are my core values, this is my mission, this is my USP, this is my avatar, and then in that same window, I'll be like, can you write this? So then I don't have to tell it every time. It already knows because it's stacked in the chat. but then I'm working with you and I need a special window for you. Does that make sense?
A new tab, you mean?
A new window, a new chat. It's called chat. It's not a tab.
Oh, okay.
It's like a chat.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, I have those lists.
Yeah.
But then the style that I create for myself won't affect.
It will. It's going to, yeah.
Okay.
So what I would recommend doing and what I do with my clients is I train their ChatGPT, not on mine. I train it on
I
theirs
was wondering,
via
if you
Zoom.
just use their.
Yeah, it's so much better. In fact, you brought up another great point. One of the things that you could do as a small business owner with specifically ChatGPT is you could say, I own a wine bar in Santa Barbara and want to increase sales. What questions do you want to ask me to create a marketing plan? And then see where it says memory updated, like that. Then you never have to ask it again. It says, to create a customized marketing plan for your wine bar in Santa Barbara, I need to gather some information. It's basically doing the same thing that all of us business coaches would ask. What is your target market? What is your UVP? Who is your audience, et cetera, et cetera. Cool. All right. So we can go, I have a whole webinar just on ChatGPT customization. So we're going to move on, but there is so much you can do with delegating to your copywriter. Okay. So, and you will find, by the way, that ChatGPT does certain things, and then, Gemini does certain things, and Claude does certain things. And depending on your preference, you can let it know. There is a wonderful tool that I wanted to share with you that I use all the time. It's called AI PRM. And what it does is it installs it used to be 4,000, but now it's 5,000 preloaded prompts into your ChatGPT and into your Claude. And as of right now, it's free. So you don't have to, and literally, for example, it says, can you write an SEO article? Can you rank me on Google? Can you do a mid-journey prompt generator? Can you develop a keyword strategy? And you can actually search that. There's a little bar where it'll say, can you write me a blog? Can you do me a LinkedIn post? Can you update my bio? And so instead of you having to rack your brain, how do I write the perfect prompt that's going to get the specificity so that they really understand? I know, she's like, it's too much. It's okay. It's all right. So they basically, I know, it's so easy. Do you know when I started feeling guilty. Oh, am I cheating? Is this too? But I wrote a book, Confessions of an Adrenaline Addict, How to Achieve More with Less Effort. And when I wrote that book 16 years ago, the word less effort, when I was going into corporate, some of the corporations didn't like that I was saying less effort. They're like, no, we want our people to have more effort. But guess what happened in the last few years? Ariana Huffington wrote about it in her book. People have gotten burnt out. I have colleagues in my age group that didn't make it to their next birthday. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter and more strategically. And, you like to work a lot, then you can have multiple businesses, right? You have one business, AI's got it set up on autopilot. So everything, and that's why I said it's an exciting time to be alive, because everything is actually getting easier. Things that were the bane of my existence, I'm now delegating to these tools. How long do we have? Do we have till 12 or?
12.
Okay, good.
Just for everybody's knowledge, this is all recorded, and we will email you the recording and all the resource materials. So
Not only will we email it to you, but I'm going to give you a document that summarizes the presentation that Canva AI has created for me. Yes.
I just have a quick question about these prompts. So you load them into your chat, and then they're sitting there
Yeah.
somewhere, and you search them. You
Yes.
say, I need a prompt about
Yes.
bios,
Mhm.
and it'll bring up all that.
Yes.
Okay.
So when you're searching, and you can have either 6 prompts sitting there, I would show you, but it's not, ChatGPT is acting finicky. I don't know if it's my computer or what it is, but they're just sitting there on the screen, and then you can scroll, but you can search. Like if you're like, I just need SEO, or I need a blog, or I need a LinkedIn optimizer, or I need a social media post
Are
creator.
these only for copy, or are there also image prompts, do you know?
I haven't looked for image prompts, so
Yeah,
you would have.
well, there are image prompts, and like people on Midjourney sell them all the time.
Right. Well, there actually is a prompt for Midjourney, so I guess yes, there is image prompts. So, and by the way, right now this used to be only for ChatGPT, but not everybody loves ChatGPT. So now they have it for Claude. So this is going to be and it's just install. You just install it once, it's there, and they're going to try to upgrade you, but you could always say no, I don't want to upgrade, and that's it. Cool. Okay, I'm going to go on. Hold your questions. If you have questions, write them down, just because we won't get through the presentation if we stop for questions right now. Okay, so we're going to continue. So you have an MBA intern now that has come up with 5,000 prompts for everything you could possibly need. I mean, just think about it. If you had somebody that was in the office like, how can I solve all your problems? And you give them something, you're like, do it 10 more times. Do it like this. Do it like this. And they're like, okay. It's fun. It's wonderful. I love it. Okay. So we have a copywriter. So this is our dream staff as a small business owner, right? We have our copywriter, our sales page lead generator, Claude. We also have our graphic designer, right? So those of you that are using Canva or not using Canva, the other day, usually I would hire someone to do my flyer. I would hire someone to do my graphics, blah, blah, blah. And I actually was going to delegate this to my virtual assistant. This flyer that I created on an AI training I'm doing took me like 20 minutes to make. And and I have a scanning, the template was already there. The only thing I had, and the image was already there. All I had to do, which by the way, with Canva, if you have the paid version of Canva, which I have a free 45-day free trial that I'll give you if you want to just try it out. But what I love about the paid version of Canva is it has your brand template and your brand kit already there. So any design that's in Canva, you just press a button and it toggles through your brand colors. So what you used to have to before manually change each color on the template. So just think of anything you think about that irritates you, that takes 2 minutes of extra time. There's an AI technology person that's developing a code for that that's going to just make it faster for you. What are we going to do with all our spare time? Go to wine bars in Montecito? Okay, sounds good to me. Walk the dog. Yes, my dog is going to be so happy. I love it. That was the right answer. Walk the dog. Exactly. So, all right. So Canva, by the way, has presentation makers. So any of you that do presentations, if you go to Canva and you go to Canva Magic, by the way, Canva's announcing even more improvements coming up. And you know why? Because if Canva doesn't improve, just like I canceled Adobe, you're going to cancel Canva. You're like, I don't need Canva. I have Dolly. I have this. I have that. So now they're like, oh, but we'll do templates for you for TikTok, and we'll make videos for you. We'll do this. We'll do that. So they keep adding because they know if they don't, they're going to lose the market share. So if you want to make a presentation, now Canva has AI where you can use a 5-word prompt and create a presentation. And say you wanted to create a pitch deck. For a Santa Barbara wine bar, etc., right? You're able with Canva to have not only the graphics designed for the template, but they'll even put some of the copy in. Because Canva has its own copywriter. It's not as great as ChatGPT, but they're constantly improving it. So they have 2 formats for Canva. They have regular pitch decks, but then they have ones that are designed with Canva Magic that also include designing the actual text. They're like, oh, you have a brewery? You must talk about this. You must talk about that. And Canva also knows that some of us are international. So we may need to have this pitch deck in several languages. So at a touch of a button, they'll translate it into Italian, andiamo, or whatever language that you prefer, and you will have it completely done. All right, I'm going to close some of the screens because it's not catching up with me. So if you are not already using Canva for things, like say, for example, like in my business, I do spokesperson work, and I do not really use TikTok. I don't know. Some people, I know some people love it, but I would cringe when I thought about TikTok. And then Delta wanted me to do spokesperson work for Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have me submit a video. I'm going to audition. They're like, what's your TikTok account? I was like, darn. And I was like, okay, gosh. So now I can, I'm like, okay, lesson learned. I do need to be on TikTok, no matter how much I don't love it or whatever I feel about TikTok. I need to get in the game because actually big brands like Delta Airlines are struggling because the younger generations, Z generation, are not consuming television the way we did. Maybe if you're in my generation, we went from channel 2 to 4. Sometimes we had to have an antenna and hold our leg just to get the tune in. Now it's not like that. Anybody? Now it's like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, right? It's a different way. And many of the programs like Amazon Prime, like Hulu, they give you an option to opt out of commercials. And if you're a younger person, there's nothing on TV you would even want to watch. So where are you watching? TikTok. Maybe if you're a millennial, YouTube, right? So advertisers are now going to social media to be able to position their brands, and they're doing it with influencers. Wave of the future, right? All right. So you see that Canva. So Canva now, if I wanted to search Canva, I could say, you know what? I got to get in this TikTok game. Guess what Canva has? TikTok templates. Yeah. So I could I'm like, okay, I don't understand TikTok. How am I going to do TikTok? I'm not a talker. And they'll be like, oh, here is a TikTok story. Here's a TikTok this, TikTok that. You can and then you can edit it, right? And I have another tool now also for TikTok. So they have it already formatted. Cool? Cool. All right. So that's Canva. And obviously I have 3 other webinars just on Canva. So Canva is wonderful because not only does it do flyers, social media posts, banners, anything that you think that you need to design. And the unique value proposition for Canva is graphic design made easy.
So you need ChatGPT paid version and Canva paid version, or can you access Canva paid version through ChatGPT?
So you do need both. You do need both. So if you don't have the paid version of Canva, they don't even let you, if you don't have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can't even have the Canva integration. But I mean, let me break it down for you. So if you were to invest in AI tools, basically the ones that I'm showing you are the ones that I think are the most useful for you as small business. And I'm not saying this just for my experience, but for the people I coach, is having the paid version of ChatGPT, the paid version of Canva, and maybe if you like what I'm going to say, Veed, which I'm about to talk to you about. And that will cost you $60 a month. Can you afford $60 a month for a graphic designer, copywriter, marketing person, branding expert?
That's not even an hourly rate for a graphic designer.
Right. So the return on investment is very high for a very low. And what I recommend for my small businesses is try before you buy. Most of these have free trials and you can try them. I have a free trial for you for Canva. and I'll send you the link after this that you can use and see if you like it. If you don't, you could do free ChatGPT, see if you like it, etc. Okay, but let's talk about feed. All right. So one of the things that you're going to realize, calls me Latina. I used my YouTube channel used to be called Latina Speakers. Hey, Latina. Hi, Vid. So I don't know if you've noticed in the digital marketplace ecosystem is that attention spans have shrunk, right? Blame pandemic, right? Because we're all on social way too much. We're all consuming way too much information. So our attention spans went way down, right? Where we used to be able to even like reading a book. I'm like, they just added Amazon Kindle on my Peloton. I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to be able to actually read again. I miss reading, you know? But attention spans have gotten really, really short. And even big brands like Verizon, Delta, advertisers have realized that in order to connect with our target market, we need to do short form micro video. And also people have stopped, especially younger generations, reading text. So things need to be consumable in 15 to 30-second clips, which is why TikTok took off, which is why YouTube, this is hot off the press, YouTube now has YouTube Shorts, which is the same as TikTok, the same as Instagram Reels, optimized. So why is that great for us when I say it's optimized? Because that means your small business can be found in Google search by a YouTube video. Even like I love to learn, I love to study. I bought like a body language course from watching a great YouTube video. There's a wonderful podcast, YouTube, that I love called The Behavior Panel. Anybody watch? Anybody nerd geek like me? Anyway, there's these 4 like experts that they train the FBI and the CIA in body language. And like they help them with like serial killers and things like that by knowing like who's lying, who's this and who's that. And I saw a YouTube of one of the guys and I ended up buying the body language course from watching the YouTube. I'm like, wow, this is so helpful, right? Cool. So I know when you're lying. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Don't fake. You can't fake the funk with me. All right. So Veed is going to make creating short form videos so easy because you're thinking, oh gosh, Deborah, are you serious? You're telling me that on top of everything else, now you want me to create video? And you may be saying, Deborah, I do not want to be on camera. Guess what? You don't have to. Yay! You're like, no camera for me, right? So you don't have to be on camera. Good news. You have Veed, okay? So Veed actually has B-roll and footage where you could type in 5 words. It will create clips for you. It will have music. It will do this. It will do that. So let's just start. Okay. So say you actually did want to record a video. I think for this seminar, I recorded a short video. And before, it would take me quite a bit to come up with it. I'm not a perfectionist, but I do, I want to have good quality, And so when I was thinking about, well, I don't know what to say. Tom's going to need me to submit a video. What do I say? Blah, 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 blah. So Veed actually has its own copywriter where you say, I'm going to do a practical AI workshop, and it will write a script for you. And not only will it write a script for you, but it will put it into a teleprompter. Anybody concerned that when you are, I don't know what's going on with the screen. It's kind of wild. Let me just start closing windows to see maybe it needs more power. Baby, you okay? Okay. So like a lot of the clients that I coach, I have this one client, she has this journal on time management, and it's particularly for Southeast Asian women, her journal. And it's a wonderful journal. Oh my God, it's really beautiful. And so she is creating little clips on different ways of using the journal. Oh, I know what the issue is. It's this computer turning on the video camera and audio camera. This computer is not quite up to speed with how to do with because it's an older computer. so it may not have the updates on it. So anyway, my client wants to sell her journal, and so we use ChatGPT to help write the script. And then she's like, but what my concern is when I talk about it, my husband often criticizes me because he's a great YouTuber that my eyes are not looking in the right place. Because most of us, as a default, will look at ourselves, right? That's, see how our hair is looking, how our eyelashes falling off, what's going on, right? We look at ourselves, but you're supposed to. And what I would do before AI is I would have stickers of where my eyes are supposed to be to have the stickers. But now with AI, with Veed, sorry, I can't demo it, but if you'll be able to see, I'll show you a sample of what it looks like on my website. It actually uses AI to correct where your eyes are supposed to be. Then my client's like, Deborah, I don't want to be on camera. I have too many ums. I have too many ahs. Sometimes I use filler words like, I use that because I'm from the Valley. Like totally, I'm from Chatsworth. And my dad's like, why are you speaking like that? I'm like, I'm Valley girl, okay? Even the word okay. So what does Veed do? It removes the ums, the ahs, the likes. But what about your dog barking? It removes that. What about the blank spaces when you're thinking about what you're going to say? It removes that. What about your background looks crazy because somebody walked by? It removes the background. So every little excuse you have for me of why you don't want to be on camera, it fixes. It fixes your eyes. It fixes your speech. It fixes your background. It fixes the sound. It fixes the texture. And then with the teleprompter, and I have to say, I've never used a teleprompter. I didn't think I would like using a teleprompter. But because I can't show you the demo of Veed, I'm going to see if I could show you. I have it on my website. I think I was teaching a class and I was just demoing it in the class. The class was on Zoom and it was so good that I used it and I put it up on my website. So I have different programs that I do. I think I made this with Veed.
Are you an entrepreneur, startup, or maybe an intrapreneur where you're ready to elevate your career?
So I can't stand watching myself, but you get the idea, right? So what it does is it made my eyes straight. It cropped the background because the background was looking weird. It puts the Grant Cardone subtitles. I didn't tell you that. It puts the subtitles on there for you. It cleaned up the sound. It cleaned up everything. And my assistant, who sometimes I feel, do you ever feel like you work for your assistant? I'm like, 'cause she's like, okay, Deborah, I need a video. I'm like, you need a video for every page? How am I going to create a video for every page? And because I had Veed.
Are you curious about how artificial intelligence can help you get your small business or...
So I was able to make 4 videos like that with Veed. Like what would have taken me, and I'm not saying hours, it might have taken me a month just to get the lighting right, just to get this right, and some of us, we don't even know, well, what is it? What is the script? And they put the script so concisely. I said, this is what the objectives are. This is the tone of voice. I like it. And I said, make it exactly for a 45-second talk to camera video. Key thing, you have to say talk to camera. If you don't say talk to camera, it's going to give you a cinematography. Deborah walks in the room boldly, looking like an Egyptian. She fixes her hair and then goes like that. You know what I mean? Like they'll break it down. It's just so wild. I'm like, okay, I don't need all that detail, but they have that when they write. So isn't that cool? So not only does Veed, get back to Veed. So not only does Veed, I wish I could show you because it's one of my favorite apps. I'm going to give you a link so you can try out Veed. Not only does it do talk to camera, but then it will literally create, maybe it'll do that easier because it's not the camera. It'll create an AI video. Have you ever been watching YouTube and it's on a topic that you like, so it just rolls over the next video? And I'm watching a whole video like on Mindset for Success. I'm like, this is not a person. It's just like a voiceover. And the clips were AI created. So it will create AI video clips on tarot, and it'll talk about the cards and this and that and how to use it. And it will put in the B-roll. And then guess what you can do? You can exchange their B-roll with your real footage. And it makes video editing. So Veed is literally like your video editor. So before, I just would spend hours and hours, because I use iMovie. I don't know about you. And it's like a little bit tricky with iMovie. So now with Veed, all of AI is really kind of like the simplest, easiest way. If you know how to take your finger and drag something, you can edit, because that's all you have to do. And so like with some of my small business clients, in a session, I'll train them. By the end of 40-minute session, they know how to use Veed, whether they're using AI Veed. And AI can also clone your voice if you want a voice clone. They can also make a video, which I don't like, the AI videos where it's like you can tell, but I mean, they're making it better and better and better. And this, by the way, if you were to hire a digital marketing agency, my friend owns a digital marketing agency, charges clients from $3,000 and up per month. She uses Veed. Sorry, Zoom. She uses Veed. So to me, it's just like AI is helping us like avoid the middleman, because we don't know. On the back end, people could have been using AI all along. I think I shared last time I was here, I was paying a company to make me these type of videos, and they were charging me $300 a month. Now I pay $20 a month and I have infinite videos. Cool. So yeah, so there is a con of AI. I'm not going to say there isn't, of taking jobs, but it's when we say taking jobs, what's going to happen is it's going to expand jobs in other areas. There's all these new roles that are coming out that are going to help people a lot. So, all right. So don't be offended by this, Michael. Michael in the back. So this can help you create podcasts, right? So for those of us that do not have the luxury of going into a podcast studio, I would always prefer going to a podcast studio because it's the energy and then you don't have to worry about anything. You have engineers doing this. But during the pandemic, I didn't have the luxury of going to my podcast studio. So I ended up having to podcast at home. And part of the challenge for me podcasting was all of the post-production work, the editing, because you run a podcast and you pay somebody to do it. She's a wonderful podcast on Money and You. I was on it several times. So this allows you to record a podcast at high quality, as if you were in a professional studio. Even if you're at home in your closet, that's where I would do my podcast. Under some dusty clothes, you're like doing your podcast. And it sounds like it's in a professional studio. It, like the other apps, removes the ums and ahs and all the spaces. It will give you your show notes. So part of how we blow up our podcast is we have show notes that we have. It will create it into a video podcast as well. It will do the summary, descriptions, and so many more things, and all from our own home. It also has, and some of the companies that use it are Spotify, ESPN, Tim Ferriss, who used the 4-Hour Workweek, uses this. Women in tech use it. So you don't have to worry about connection. You don't have to worry about backups. Post-production is simplified. Plus Descript, which actually does a lot of the summarization of podcasts and optimization. They partnered. So now you get everything for all in one. And so they show you a VoIP recording, local recording, and like on Zoom. The challenge with Zoom, if you ever would do a podcast on Zoom, is it's not made for good audio at all. And it doesn't separate. I think now Zoom, because have you noticed Zoom is trying to get in on the AI game? They're doing little things. They have anything that they saw people outsource, like Phantom and Firefly to do transcripts of Zoom. Now Zoom has that. Oh, stay with us, right? Everybody wants you on their platform, right? But Zoom, they didn't have great quality because all the speakers were on the same track. But I noticed Zoom is now going to separate the tracks. They're probably going to want to get into the podcast game. But that's why I said AI is great, because everybody's competing to make our lives easier. So these are other tools that you can use. Descript. Is it going? Is it scrolling down? Oh. Okay, keep up with me, computer. All right. So they have all these plugins. So those of you that want to do podcasts and felt like, gosh, it's too much to do, I can't afford this. Now we have tools like Squadcast that will help us to do it with ease and grace. But I have one more tool, and this is especially for my SCORE mentors. Where are my SCORE mentors? You still awake? You still with me? All right. So this tool I was thinking about that is specifically very cool for my SCORE mentors and anybody that's starting up a business. If you have a startup idea and you're like, wait a minute, is this a viable idea? Somebody give me an idea that you want to start. Like, let me give you an example. Like a Yorkie themed wine bar on State Street. So give me a startup idea, not a real one that you want to use, but.
Selling fresh juices.
Okay, but make it with a twist or something.
Don't know. with exotic fruit. With CBD.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Good. Who said that? You better go launch that idea. No one's kidding. Okay, selling fresh juices with CBD. And I think now they have like little cans.
THC, you mean, right?
You Santa Barbara people. Okay. Unleash your startup idea. So unleash your startup idea, right? In 2 minutes. And then it's going to go through, you'll see, the business prototype, validation, storytelling, creating your brand, doing your elevator pitch. This is, as of right now, the hypothesis. So it's going to take a little bit of moments, and then it's going to basically let us know whether the idea is valid or not valid. I personally have not used this because I've been in business for 22 years and I don't coach startups, but I thought it might be fascinating for some of you mentors in this room that coach people. So when we talk about business prototype, it goes through what is the problem. This is a little slow in following my screen. So it goes through the problem, the solution, the unique value proposition, the unfair advantage, your customer segments, existing alternatives. Oh, wow. So they give you all of the things that already exist, like recess, sprig, vibes, Queen City hemp, subtlety, all the things that are already on the market. The key metrics, high level concept, the channels, whether it's storefront, mobile ordering, social media, your cost structure, your revenue streams, early adopters, validation, your critical hypothesis, the desirability, viability, feasibility of it, whether it's high, medium, or low. And then they showed the testing method, customer interview, landing. Oh, that's so cool. They'll even create a landing page for you on the product. I didn't see that. Storytelling central. No, every day my eyes open wider and bigger. I'm like Dora the Explorer. Are you serious? You're going to do this for me? Brand wheel, startup naming ideas, elevator pitch, mission, vision, brand values, brand personality, and more.
Is this go zigzag?
Yes.
Can I just briefly speak to people who get anxious about like jobs being taken, or because like these things come up and it's like, oh my God, am I even gonna be needed anymore? You know, and I think people are, and one example is a friend of mine who's a graphic designer has started creating Canva. She's basically helping people create their Canva package. And so even though they could go on and do it themselves, they don't want to. You know, she's creating their color thing, their whatnot. You know, so she's embraced AI and she's empowering people to use AI using her expertise as a graphic designer. And just like this, like Go Zigzag, this will be fabulous as a, you know, a startup or a startup incubator or consultant or whatever. to check this out against what you know
Right.
as a, experienced person.
Exactly.
So-
And I just think for my clients, like a lot of them don't know where to start with market research. And part of, ChatGPT, there are prompts to help with the market research. And so part of what I feel that AI helps me as a business consultant is there's so many tools because, for years as a digital marketing strategist, I would say, all you have to do is create content. But they're like, but how? Right? And so now I feel like there are tools to help the small business owners with the how. So this is, you can see if it's viable. So let's talk a little bit about the future of AI, and then I want to allow the last 15 minutes for questions. And we're going to take questions both from my Zoom wonderful participants. See many of my students there. Hi. And also in person. So we're going to do it both. So in the future, AI is going to be more personalized. Since I created this training, which I started it about a month ago, ChatGPT updated their app where instead of just 3.5 and 4.0, they're 4. Omni, which now has more realistic voice. And if you prefer like a Hugh Grant style talker, you can have that on your ChatGPT. So there's more realistic voices. Like my colleague said, Kristen, AI is not going to replace humans, but it's going to supplement and augment and help us, especially help our clients use the tools and accomplish their goals faster. Be faster and easier, and to make sure that they're spending their time on what they should be spending time on, not on graphic design, not on copywriting, not on video development. What I tell my clients, your best energy should be in business development and, working on your business rather than just in your business. The whole E-Myth, Michael Gerber, right? There are going to be continuing legal and ethical issues. My best friend is an intellectual property attorney. And when I first started teaching AI, she's like, you need to have this clause. You need to have this on every slide, that these are just suggestions only, and that no, and what she told me to say, and then my other best friend's also intellectual property attorney, is like if you're creating graphics with AI, which I didn't talk a lot about graphics, is according to U.S. copyright law, no entity, computer, can own copyright of an image that an AI created. So you cannot go to the U.S. library and register it as you own it. You can use it, but you can't own it, right? So you just have to realize that. However, what my attorney also said is because AI is here to stay and taking over, the law is actually going to, once there's, precedent, is going to start changing, that if you influence the graphic with your human hands and you adapted the AI and did this and that it will be amazing. Like my friend Kristen's here. She developed the most beautiful tarot cards using AI graphics and prompts. And she also created like a GPT. Last night she did a little tarot reading that she was able to have prompts that go along with her cards, and it's just so amazing that she was able to create this all with the power of AI. But it's going to be expanded to basically every industry. Let's hope the medical care, we need help with our medical care system, that it becomes more efficient and that there'll be tools to support our doctors and dentists to be more efficient and get us our information faster and easier. There is going to be challenges with misinformation, that it's just part of it. And so one of the things that ChatGPT I noticed added, they said because AI has a tendency to sometimes hallucinate, it means make things up, is to make sure, they did that to cover CYA, to make sure that you fact check, right? And that's why how I use my copywriter, Charles, ChatGPT, is I don't have it create content for me. I have it take the content that I created and synergize it. That's a very different way of using AI. I don't want people to over rely on AI and think that it's just going to replace your brain. We have amazing brains, and we have something that AI will never have, which is an intuitive ability to discern, right? We're sentient beings. It is not, right? So we're always going to be able to say, well, in this particular setting, that's not appropriate, or that's not a good thing to do or say. And there are a lot of cultural issues too with AI. Like if you say to do, like at one time when it was saying, I'm like, please create a Latina woman. Like I was like, no, not the way that they were doing it. Like they just, they're adapting now to be much more politically correct. We don't all look like Selma Hayek, okay? We want to look like Selma Hayek, but we don't. All right. So there are going to be integrations with other technology, with AR and VR, which could be very helpful in the medical field and other fields, augmented reality, virtual reality. With AI, economic impact because jobs are going to shift. Did you know that now when people are applying for jobs, that AI can be a required skill? Hence, why I'm very excited to announce that I am developing a generative AI program for Santa Barbara City College. It's going to be launched, hopefully, fall of 2025. We're in the works of developing it right now. It's going to be online and free if all goes well with funding sources. Remember to vote. So anyway, we will, and when that announces, make sure you're on my email list and you stay connected with me. I gave you my card. That'll be great for you, for young people you have in your life, to have AI, because I'm going to definitely keep in mind the future and making sure. And it's, if you know me, it's going to be very practical. It's not going to be like theoretical. Let's talk about large language models and this and this and that. So it's going to be very practical. Okay, so there's going to be changes when it comes to SEO. So I love SEO, search engine optimization. Some of my biggest clients when I started my business, I got through SEO. I got Verizon as a huge client. Basically a year's salary that I would have made at my job, I made in 10 hours work. Thank you, SEO. Keywords. And what I discovered with search engine optimization is even though I love my name Synergy Unlimited, I like my name Deborah Deras, people aren't Googling that to find me. They're Googling the keywords. So as of now, however, guess what? I used to, when I wanted to find something, go to Google. Even right now, the AV guy was asking me a question about my computer and how to change a setting. I didn't know. So where do you think I went? Charles, ChatGPT. I went to Chaz. And I'm like, how do I do this? Blah, 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 to be able to figure that out. I didn't go to Google. And I'm an early adopter of AI, but as things change, people are going to stop going to Google and they're going to start going to AI tools. So that means that all the blogs and all the optimizations and things that we did, and this is why doing the micro content with Veed is powerful. This is why doing podcasting is powerful. And don't worry, I'm here with you. I'm partners with SCORE. I'm going to keep you updated of how we can pivot and how we can still grow and leverage, because it's not that we can't make money with optimization. It's just we may need to do it in a different way. And there will be ways to do it. And so it will change the way we interact. Okay. So that's what's going to happen. All right. I have a resource sheet. You could take a picture of this if you're high tech and download. I have like a 4-page AI guide. But I'm also going to email it to you. Those of you that don't want to take the picture, like I'm not a QR code kind of person. I'm old school, clicking on a link, no problema. I'm going to do a follow-up email that's going to have the presentation. It's going to have the summary of the presentation. It's going to have the resource list. It's going to have everything you could possibly need. You'll have it right there. I also wanted to let you know that I have an AI boot camp. So if anybody wants to go further with this, you can check it out. It's Monetize Your Magnificence, and you can click AI. I'm actually doing it every Saturday. I started it a couple months ago, and everybody loved it. So I'm like, let me do this every month. So, and it's right in the morning. You're awake enough, but you haven't started your full day. So if anyone's interested, you can join for that. And now let's have time for questions. Exactly 12 minutes for questions. All right. Thank you so much. That was my AI clap. All right. And we're going to have the people on Zoom. You can ask your questions in the chat and we will answer your questions as well. Okay. Yes.
There are industries where they want you to disclose if you
Yes.
have used AI or not, or don't want you to use AI at all.
Right.
What is the development of bots to be able to detect that your content has used AI?
It's going to be very detectable. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because Instagram actually added a button that if you have used an image that was created with AI, just to disclose. And do you want to know why this is true? My lawyer actually told me, because if it ever goes to court, if you disclose that you used AI, the copy that you created yourself will be protected, but the graphic is not something that you own. So it helps you to actually protect your copy. And I have an article about that I read about that. But I recently, I don't know if I'm crazy or not for doing this, but I recently applied to get my ED in organizational leadership at the University of San Diego. And when I was writing my statement of purpose, they said, it is okay if you use ChatGPT to help you, as long as your writing is your original authentic ideas. So they put a disclosure that it was okay to use it under these specifications, but you're going to be seeing more and more platforms that will have a little button that's just, you're giving just like a disclosure if you're using AI or not. Yeah. But it's going to be even more detectable. Yeah. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think in 5 years, everyone's going to be using AI. I mean, if you're not, it would be very rare. Everyone's going to be using some form of AI. Even Grammarly, we've been using that for a while. It's AI, right? Okay, go ahead.
While you say Grammarly, I just want to say you can also just put your text into chat and say, rewrite in better English, which is great.
More better?
More
No, I'm just kidding.
More better. No, which is really great for non-native speakers.
Oh, that is great. Good idea. Good idea. Oh, so I didn't have to buy Grammarly? Oh.
You did.
All right. Yes.
Curiosity question. We have in our house a couple echo devices. And we ask everything all the time. Is that AI? Shot caller shoot.
Yeah.
Is that AI?
Yeah. Those things scare me because they're recording everything.
That's fine, we don't care.
Yeah. They even did it. I give nothing to hide. Okay.
But I mean, and we've had it for about 10 years.
Uh-huh.
She's getting smarter.
Yeah.
smarter, smarter.
Yeah. It is AI. Yeah.
It is-
They even did a show on 60 Minutes or 2020 about how your echo, like I don't have anything. I don't have Siri, even though I love AI. Messenger and Google, they're recording me anyway. But like you talk about going on a trip, next thing you know, you get advertisements for that trip because we're being listened to. We're being like, what was the Big Brother? It's true. It's happening. Yeah. Those devices are AI and they are learning. But because the large language models, just like a ChatGPT, they're learning, oh, they like their lights on at this time, or oh, they like the TV shut off at this time, or would you like to let the dog out right now? Yeah, can you walk the dog?
But it's she.
She,
knows
sorry.
everything.
Don't offend her. Okay, more questions. What about on Zoom? All my wonderful, I see a lot of my students on there, future students. Any questions? Yes.
This is just a personal question. Do you use AI to manage your task scheduling? Like, do you use that to schedule and plan tasks and stuff?
Well, I guess you could say Calendly is a form of AI that's helping me so much because before, as a coach, I used to manually like email people back and forth and it was horrible. Now with Calendly, and I'm sure Calendly might integrate AI where they get to know my schedule. That would be great. There are AI apps for scheduling, but my schedule is so crazy. I don't think an AI can keep up with me. No, it's not possible. I mean, there are AI apps for scheduling. I personally don't use it. That's where my parking brake's at. You can have everything else, but not my schedule. Right?
So I have a question about,
Yes.
so I have a book and I wanted
Oh.
to possibly put the book into AI
but I don't want, like then I feel like it's like basically offering it up to the universe, like to AI universe, but it's already on Kindle, so
it's already out there
anyway.
Yeah, it's out there anyway.
And then have it just take the whole book and be like, turn this into a course or turn this into workshops.
Great idea. Yeah. So because it's on Kindle, it's already out there anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. But what I did with my book is I asked them how I could update it for the 21st century. And then they gave me this whole chapter on post-pandemic work-life balance and this, and this is what you should add. And there's another thing that would be awesome, that if you wanted to record your book too, I showed you the podcast platform, Descript. You could speak it into there, and then they would take out the ums and ahs. And also 11 Labs is another platform that does voice. And you could actually upload your book, and they have voices that will create the audio for you in different languages. Yes.
Okay, so I have a classmate who's telling me that he started a generative AI company for text to video. And I was asking him, because I tried to use the text to video AI before, and it didn't turn out well because it didn't fully understand my prompt.
Right.
So I was asking him for advice on how to talk to the AI better. And like he was saying he does is he'll go to ChatGPT or text generator and say, make this understandable to AI.
Oh,
and the other AI.
That's so cool.
So I don't know if you know if there's any services that can translate that for you.
Well, like AI PRM, the one that I showed you, they have prompt writers that, like, they have one for Midjourney. They're like, make Midjourney understand what I want. And they will actually just rewrite the prompt for you. Veed, who I was telling you about, they will help you rewrite your prompt for text to video. So, but I love it. I love the way you think. Yeah.
Well, he gave me that advice. That's all.
Cool. Thanks for adding that. Yeah, that's really cool. Isn't this exciting?
Yes.
Are you excited?
Very much. Yes.
Okay, good. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So here's my practical advice for moving forward. Like I said, with sharing all this information, it's not that you need to do this. I just, in summary, as a professor, I like to summarize. Okay, class. So, we talked about AI is your personal assistant. You can choose to delegate it to do copywriting, to do graphic designing, to do video editing, to be your digital marketer, or you could choose not to, right? You still have complete control of how, when, and what you use your AI for. It's basically, you want to think about what is your biggest challenge and what is the project that you could have right now that could move your needle forward. Like, is it the book? Is it the course? Is it the podcast? Is it the tarot deck? What is it that is the idea you have that needs to be completed? And how could AI and some of these tools, or maybe other tools, support you? I didn't even talk about Perplexity, which is a wonderful research tool that with AI. So take what you think will help you, leave the rest, and just know it is going to be here. It's here to stay, and it's here to help you if you choose to delegate it. All right. So anybody on Zoom have a question? My online participants. I don't want you to feel like I'm not.
There are a couple of
Yeah,
questions
there's
that
one
have
in the
rolled.
chat.
Yeah. Can you go over the tools for privacy in ChatGPT so they don't use the info? Yes. Let me repeat that. That was a really important thing that I learned from taking some $1,000 class. All the things that I'm teaching you, like I took millions of classes and paid so much money. So we really got a great deal. Thank you, SCORE. Thank you, Work Zones. Thank you, Michael and Hypecats. We appreciate you. Okay. All right. So when we talk about, that was a great question. The question was, how do we go to ChatGPT and make it private so that they're not training off our model? And I say more private, not private, right? More private. I'll use that word. See where it says my GPTs, the ones that you make. Okay. So go to settings. So you click on your little cute face in the right corner, your cute face, and then you click on settings, step 2. And I'm going to teach you this and then they're going to change it. Okay, and then you go to where it says data controls, step 3, and then it's going to be automatically on, so you're just going to toggle it to off. So it's kind of tricky because you think, oh, I do want to improve the model for everyone. No, not off my data, right? Improve off other people. I'm like,
Is that on the free version or just the advanced?
I heard that it was on the free
I just
version.
did it on my free one.
Okay, good, thank you. Yes, it's on the free version.
Do you know if you could do something like that, or because I have it on my phone, so.
You might have to just go on the computer for a second and do it. I haven't tried on the phone yet.